Hello, hi, it's Henry the computer guy, and you're welcome to our lesson number 45. And in today's lesson, we are actually going to be seeing how we can transfer or share files among the or across various media. For example, you can be having two or more computers, but you want to share some information from one computer to another. You can either use a flash disk, you can use a CD, or for example, you might be having your phone. You want to transfer, let's say, some information from your computer to your phone, or you have a phone and a phone, you want to transfer some music or some videos there. So what do we actually do? That is actually sharing information or transferring information. Or you might be actually, let's say, in need of, let's say, sending information to another country. So to a computer in another country, that means that you also have to share that information. So they're actually telling us that file sharing is the act of sharing digital media from one device to another. Some ways include, we're going to see some of the ways we can share or transfer our digital data from one either device to another. We have the first one, which is actually some of the people mostly use this one. The use of an external storage media. For example, I can get my hard disk, I connect it using a USB to my port, then I transfer the data to that hard disk, then I take it to another computer. Then I transfer again the data to another computer. So they're telling us that obviously this is the way most people do it. They connect the hard disk drive or the solid state drive manually. So you can connect your, let's say, memory card outside, transfer the data there, then put it on another computer. You can, let's say, connect your hard disk, transfer the data, put it on another computer, just like that. And it is mostly the obvious way people do it. We continue. And they're telling us that you can also share it over a network, for example, a local area network, or you can share it over Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi in full is wireless fidelity, and LAN in full is the local area network. Let's say, look at this as, for example, your computer lab at school. You have many computers there in that room, but that computer lab is networked. So they are making a network for all those computers to communicate to one another. That means that you can get information from one computer to another when you are on that same network. So a network is like a collection of two or more computers for purposes of sharing resources. They can share the printer, they can share the data, and so much more other information that they can share. So you can either use a LAN or Wi-Fi. So some other people also use a transfer cable. For example, using the USB cable. USB in full is the universal serial bus. You have your phone, you want to transfer some photos from your phone to your computer to keep them, let's say to back them up, such that in case the phone gets lost, you can remain with the pictures on your laptop. So what you do, you get your USB cable, you connect your phone, then you can transfer the data to the computer. We are actually going to see how we can do these ones practically. Now, some other people can also connect what we call the external optical drives. For example, for netbook or laptops, computers, or for netbooks and laptop computers. That means that if you have a computer that actually has nowhere you can insert either a CD, you can actually buy what we call an external optical drive. That means that you attach it to your computer using a USB cable. For example, you put in a CD, you can burn the information onto that CD, you take to another computer, you remove that information, or you transfer that information to that computer that you want to, let's say, transfer the data to. And another one, some people also use what we call the cloud storage, storing information over the internet. You send information over the internet or share information over the internet, or web transfer, whereby, for example, your school has a website. We can upload some information there, for example, the notes. Now you're in a lockdown, we can upload the notes to our website, then you come and download them. For example, you can also use what we call the Dropbox, the Google Drive, and other, or OneDrive, or others you can actually think of. And I remember in the previous videos, I showed you how you can use the Google Drive. So if you have a computer whereby you want to transfer some data, you can first of all put them on your Google Drive to access them from another computer using your Google Drive again. So you can use this computer and upload them, then log in into your Google Drive using another computer and download them. So you'll be actually sharing that data. So uploading specifically means, let's say, data is being sent from your computer to the internet, while downloading means your computer is receiving data from the internet. So, for example, the way I put the videos over YouTube that you watch is what we call the uploading. Then you, the person who downloads them to your computer, you actually downloading them. That is actually how we can transfer or share files among our various medias. So let's actually try and make these things and see how we can actually do them. So we are going to first of all leave this slideshow and we come to what we call our desktop. So this is actually our computer. So outside here I have my devices. For example, we are going to begin with what we call our external hard disk. So I'm going to connect my external hard disk to our computer. So when I connect my external to our computer, we actually come to what we call the start. We come to our PC or computer, because it's where we can view all the components that we have connected to our computers. So I'm going to use a USB I connected, and remember we already used it in our user manual tutorial. So when I connect it there, I'll actually give it some time to read. So if it doesn't open automatically, it will actually come down here. So now I've connected my external hard disk and it is having a storage capacity of 111 GBs. So I can actually transfer files to that by coming to, let's say, my desktop. I'll right click on what I want to copy. I'll right click on it. Then I'll actually send it to my computer or my hard disk. I'll come and say copy, then I'll come to my hard disk. I can as well open it, right click and open. Then I can come and paste, right click and say paste. So it actually comes to my computer. Or you can actually hold something, then you drop it onto your hard disk, but it already exists. I can copy another one. Let's say I copy this, it comes. So it comes there. Let's say I copy this one. It comes like that. So that is how we can use our external hard disk to transfer files. That means that after putting the information onto my computer, or like this, or my hard disk, external disk, I also take it to another computer. Then I copy them from here. Exactly. By coming to where that information is down, for example, if it is just down there, or it is somewhere here in the middle, for example this one, then I'll come and say right click and copy, then I put it onto the other computer or second computer that I'm having. So now after using it, you'll have to eject it. So you have to eject it safely, don't just unplug it. So what you're going to do, you're going to come down here on your notification bar, then look for it down here, safely remove and right click and say eject. So it is actually going to be ejected from your computer. Now that one has been the external hard disk. Let's also try out using a flash disk. You'll come and insert your flash disk using your USB port. And remember it says that a port is a point at which peripherals are attached. So this is now showing me that it is 3.74 GB. So you can also double click and see what is there. So there's actually nothing, some information. This is just a shortcut. So I can get my information here. I can drag that information, I drop it here. I drag my information, I drop it here. So I also take this flash disk to another computer that actually I want to, let's say, have that information. I'll also come onto it, right click and copy, then paste it to wherever place I want. So also after, if I'm done, I don't just unplug it. I will come and eject it from just down here. Remove safely, then I eject it as the disk. It also goes away. That's why you see it disappearing. Or if actually you're having a CD, you can insert your CD or DVD into your drive, then you'll open it from here, put some information there or burn information there, then take it to another computer. Simple as that. So let's also try the last one, which is actually transferring data using, let's say, a USB cable. let's say connected to your computer, your phone. Let's say I have my phone now connected. So when I connect my phone to my computer, it will actually be displayed here. But when I come to it, when you look at it here, it is Techno Camon 12. So when I double click and open it, or when I right click to open it, it shows me nothing. So right click, open. When I right click and open, it shows me nothing. So I cannot access the information on my phone. What do? That means that you're going to come to your phone and actually enable what we call the file transfer option. Click on the file transfer option. So when I click on the file transfer option, I will come back to my Techno and right click and open. So when I open, they are going to show me my internal storage, which is, let's say, 53 GBs, and my memory card, which is there. So whichever information I want to put onto my phone, I can come and, let's say, copy it from here. I can even drag and drop it to any location I want. Let's say I want to drop it on the memory card. I'll say, okay. Then I'll come and look for another one. You just come and pick anything that you feel you want. I'll open this one or drag. Then I drop it onto my memory card. But it's telling me, okay, you can copy that. It's fine. Then, whenever I want to copy some information from my phone, I'll also come and access my phone. I'll open, for example, I open my internal. When I open my internal, I can look through my information here. Any information that you need to access, you can get it from there. So, for example, I need to copy the calculations from here. I'll come and right click. I'll say copy, then I come, for example, to my desktop here. I paste it there. Right click and say paste. Then it will tell me that it already exists. Do you want to replace it? Yes, I want to replace it. Then it comes as this one. So I've copied information from my computer to my phone and again from my phone to my computer. That is actually very simple. So let's come back to our work that we had. And that is actually where we had stopped on the transferring of the files. We continue. And we have an activity which is 3.6. Remember, we are under chapter 3 and it is activity 6, which is about data storage units. So they are telling us that distinguish between a bit and a byte. I think that is now easy to answer. So, question 2, they are telling us that what is the relationship between bits, bytes, kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, and terabytes? Give examples where necessary. Of course, we say that we begin with the smallest as the bits. Then after we combine 8 bits to form what we call the bytes. Then we combine, let's say, the bytes to form the kilobytes, like that. So you can actually go through the videos and answer for me this. It is very simple. We continue. And we have an activity of integration, whereby they are telling us that a researcher saved her draft work on a CD-ROM, which is compact disk read-only memory, from a friend's computer with an intention of sending her supervisor by email. So she wanted to send the work to her supervisor by an email. By getting that work from a CD-ROM, then send it to the supervisor by email. But once she got home, however, on reaching home, she realized that her computer could not read a CD-ROM. So we have a task here. They are telling us that how can you advise this researcher to have her work sent to the supervisor without physically going back to a friend. So she has already reached home, but the CD-ROM has refused to read in her computer. What options or what advice are you going to give that woman or that researcher? So you can look for those answers on your own. I think they are very simple. First, think about it, then you'll get the answers. We continue. We come to another activity of integration. So they are telling us that a student borrowed a computer with a hard disk of 40 GB, on which he saved his project for the 3 years. That means that for 3 years, this person has been doing the project. And the computer only had 40 GBs. The project work on the hard disk is stored on a space of 30 GBs. That means that out of the 40, 30 GBs have been used. That means that the remainder is 10 GB. So recently, the owner of the computer requested to have it back and provided the student with a pack of 100 CDs. each with a storage capacity of 700 MBs on which project data can be transferred. So in this event, the owner needed to take the computer. So what the owner did, provided CDs, 100 of them, to this person to transfer the work such that he or she can take the what? The computer. So now we have a task. They are telling us that describe how the project data could be transferred from the hard disk to the CDs provided by the student. So that's why we saw in the previous lesson how we can transfer data. So how can someone transfer data from a computer to a CD? That is very obvious. How many CDs full of data do you think the student used? Give reasons for your answer. For example, I can actually help you with that one for that simple calculation to know the number of what? The number of the CDs that someone used here. For example, if you are to make a calculation, let me look for what we call the sticky note again and make something very faster. So now we have this. We are going to be writing some information here. Remember, they have told us that in the beginning, the computer had a hard disk. Let's say of 40 GBs. But now the work or the project, the work used a space. Let's say takes a space of what? Of 30 GB. Remember that they told us that the space used was 30 GB. So we want to know. We have 30 GB. That means that the remaining space was specifically 10 GB. I think we are analyzing the question. So the computer had 40, 30 used it. That means that the remainder was 10 GB. And now they provided us with blank, let's say blank 100 blank CDs. That is what they provided us with. So they want us to, let's say, calculate the number or get to know the number of, let's say, the CDs that, let's say, the other 30 GBs used. But remember, they told us that each CD has a space of, let's say, 700 MBs of space. So now we are having a CD, we are having the work that is supposed to go there. But this one is in GBs, this one is in MBs. So that means that the first thing we have to do is to convert them to the same units. So let's convert the 700 MBs to the 30 GBs. So what we do, we are going to say that one CD, okay, let's convert, let us convert, let's say 700 MB to GB. Then afterwards we shall divide and know the number of CDs that we are supposed to use. We know that, let's say 1 GB equals to 1000 MBs. Where am I getting this? You already have what we call the scale. We used the scale, so we know that 1 GB can be 1024 MBs or 1000 what? MBs. You can actually go and refer to it. Now, what about for example, we want to look for the GBs, which are in 700 MB. So we call that one Y, because we actually don't know what they represent in GB. So they will actually give us the 700 MBs. Why am I putting 700 MBs to this side? Because this side we have MBs. That's why I've put the 700 MBs on this side, because we have them on the same unit. So we are going to be cross multiplying. So it will actually be giving us Y 1000, actually giving us to 700. So what do we do now to get the Y? We divide the both sides by 1000. So that means that we shall say over 1000. Are we together? So when you divide 1000 by 700 by 1000, actually the y will give us the 0.7 GB. So that is actually what we are having. So now they wanted us to know the number of CDs we need to put the 30 GBs. That means that we are going to divide. Let's come down. So we are going to divide, let's say 30 GBs by 0.7 GBs, because a CD or one CD is approximately 0.7 what? 1 GB, 0.7 GB, or approximated to 700 what? MBs. So now we are going to come and say down here, which is going to actually be 30 divided by 0.7. So what do we get actually? So we shall have our answer as 42 point actually 857. So we approximate this one to a certain value or a whole number, it will actually be 43 CDs. So the person is going to actually, or this person is actually going to need only 43 CDs to transfer the work or the project to the CDs. So that person is actually going to need 43 CDs to transfer that project. So that is actually what I've, let's say, what I'm supposed to do for you, or what I've actually done for you. We continue. And we have our chapter summary, and they're telling us that in this chapter you have learned about creating, saving and transferring files across various medias. I think we have used that one. We have used a phone, a hard disk, a flash disk, and others. You can even use a CD. So lastly, converting data storage into various units. That is actually we have been looking at. So thank you for watching. It's been Henry the Computer Guy. So don't forget to subscribe and share the link to other friends who want or need it. So bye bye. I sign out.